When Shen Yan barged into my courtyard with Liu Ruyan, I was adorning my newly bought gold hairpin with flowers, made of red agate, dazzlingly bright. His face was ashen, grabbing my wrist with such force it felt like he wanted to crush the bones. "Suan, how dare you poison Ruyan?" My wrist hurt like hell, but I smiled on the surface, lifting my eyes to look at the tottering beauty behind him with her deathly pale face. "Poison husband, where does this accusation come from?" Liu Ruyan clutched her chest, speaking in a delicate voice with tears barely held back. "Sister, I know you resent me, but why did you put that sterilization drug in my bird's nest soup?" I only wanted to serve my husband well and continue the Shen family line." Her body went limp as she collapsed into Shen Yan's arms. Shen Yan immediately caught her with heartache, looking at me with eyes like poisoned daggers, caught red-handed. "Your maid Xiaokui has already confessed that you ordered her to tamper with Ruyan's tonic. Suan, you truly have the heart of a snake and scorpion." "Oh, so this is the trap they set for me." I calmly withdrew my hand and rubbed my reddened wrist. "Husband!" My voice wasn't loud, just enough for the servants in the courtyard who were listening with pricked ears to hear. "You say I poisoned her. Where is the evidence?" "Just based on Xiaokui's word. She is the maid I punished with a reduced monthly allowance just yesterday and holds a grudge." "You believe her too?" Shen Yan froze, clearly not expecting me to refute so decisively. Liu Ruyan sobbed even harder. "Sister, things have come to this. And you still want to argue? That bowl of bird's nest, the doctor examined it. There really is a problem with it." I nodded and walked straight to the stone table in the courtyard. On the table sat a food box, inside which was that bowl of so-called poisoned bird's nest. I picked up the bowl and brought it close to my nose to smell it. A faint, barely noticeable scent of bitter almonds. Something was added to it. I put down the bowl, my tone as calm, as if I was saying the weather was nice today. Both Shen Yan and Liu Ruyan froze. Shen Yan said angrily, "You admit it." I smiled and turned toward Liu Ruyan, my eyes staring straight at those eyes of hers that still held teardrops, but couldn't quite hide a trace of smugness. "Admit what?" "Admit that I added some brown sugar and ginger powder for nourishing yin, replenishing qi, and treating cold womb to your bird's nest." This is the moment you realize Suan is playing chess, while her enemies are playing drafts. The concubine stages an elaborate poisoning plot, complete with tears, a fainting spell, and a bribed maid. She expects Suan to panic and beg. Instead, Suan calmly lists out the ingredients of her poisoned brown sugar and ginger and produces the receipts, the storehouse registry, and the doctor to prove it. She catches the concubine's bribed maid in a lie and flips the entire narrative in a matter of minutes. It is a stunning display of airtight preparation. The satisfaction of watching the concubine's smugness curdle into panic is simply unmatched. "Whoa. What?" The grief on Liu Ruyan's face instantly froze. "Impossible," Shen Yan denied flatly. "The doctor clearly said it was mixed with infertility powder." "Oh, which quack doctor said that?" I raised my eyebrows and clapped my hands. "Chun Tao, go invite Dr. and what Yishun Hall over and bring the receipts from when I bought brown sugar and ginger powder yesterday. Oh, and bring the storehouse registry too." It clearly records that yesterday at the third quarter of the afternoon, I personally went to the storehouse to get 2 taels of premium brown sugar and ginger powder, planning to make myself a sweet soup. How come the ingredients for my sweet soup ended up in concubine Liu's bowl? Chuntao responded loudly, "Yes, madam," and turned to run off. Liu Ruyan's face began to turn pale. Shen Yan furrowed his brows, looking at Liu Ruyan with suspicion. I added leisurely, "Also, husband, you say Xiao Kui is accusing me. What a coincidence. Yesterday evening, I personally saw Chu Ju, the head maid by concubine Liu's side, secretly slip Xiao Kui a bulging pouch. I was wondering at the time, concubine Liu is really generous to her servants." Before I finished speaking, Xiao Kui, who was being dragged over by two matrons, dropped to her knees with a thud, trembling like a sieve. "Master, spare me, madam. Spare me." It was Sister Chu Ju. She gave this servant 10 taels of silver and told me to say the brown sugar powder madam got was poison. She also said that if it succeeded, concubine Liu would promote me to second-class maid. This servant was momentarily possessed. This servant deserves to die. The courtyard fell deathly silent. Liu Ruyan's face completely lost all color, her lips trembling, unable to utter a single word. Shen Yan looked at me, then at the deathly pale Liu Ruyan, then at Xiao Kui, who was shaking like a leaf, his face alternating between green and white. Old Mr. Lai was quickly summoned. After examining the bird's nest, he stroked his beard. "Reporting to Master Shen and Madam, this bowl of bird's nest indeed contains only brown sugar and ginger powder, no other medicines. This ginger powder is made from premium-aged ginger, which warms the womb and dispels cold, beneficial to a woman's body with no harm whatsoever." The storehouse ledger and purchase receipts were laid out one by one before Shen Yan. The evidence was irrefutable. Shen Yan suddenly turned his head, staring at Liu Ruyan in disbelief, his eyes filled with anger and disappointment at being deceived. "Ruyan, you actually dared." Liu Ruyan's body swayed, clutching tightly at Shen Yan's sleeve, tears this time truly streaming out. "Brother Yan, it is not like that. Listen to my explanation. It is her. Suan framed me. She set up a trap long ago, waiting for me to fall into it. She has such a vicious heart." Watching her hysterical appearance, I only felt it was utterly ironic. "Concubine Liu," my voice wasn't loud yet. It clearly cut through her crying. "I personally fetched this brown sugar and ginger powder yesterday. How could I have known in advance that you would falsely accuse me of poisoning today and prepare evidence beforehand to turn it against you? Unless, can you divine the future? You." Liu Ruyan was so choked by my words she nearly couldn't catch her breath. Her trembling finger pointed at me, her eyes so venomous they could drip blood. "Suan, don't get cocky. You think you've won. The person Brother Yan loves in his heart is me, always me. You're just a pitiful wretch occupying a position." Those words were like knives, precisely stabbing into Shen Yan's sore spot and my weakness. Sure enough, the fury in Shen Yan's eyes was replaced by a trace of complicated heartache, and he unconsciously tightened his arm around Liu Ruyan. I watched them snuggling together, my heart ice cold, yet my face bloomed into an extremely brilliant smile. I even touched the red agate gold hairpin by my temple. "That is right. Sister Liu is correct." My voice was light and cheerful, with a deliberately affected innocence. Naturally, husband's heart only has you, so you see, I've long since figured it out. Occupying this position of legitimate wife, I'm exhausted too. I turned toward Shen Yan, my smile unchanged, but the words I spoke were laced with ice. "Shen Yan, let's divorce." Shen Yan jolted violently, as if he hadn't heard clearly. What did you say?" Liu Ruyan also forgot to cry, staring with eyes wide in shock. I said, "Let's divorce." I repeated clearly, every word resounding firmly. "This position as the legal wife, if Miss Liu finds it precious, I no longer do. You two have a love stronger than gold, so why should I stand in the middle being an eyesore? I'll fulfill you two and give myself a way out as well." I paused, savoring the mixture of shock, bewilderment, and a hint of offended anger on Shen Yan's face, along with the wild joy that suddenly rose in Liu Ruyan's eyes. However, I changed my tone, my smile growing broader. Divorce is divorce, but what is mine cannot be short by even a bit. My dowry will naturally all be taken with me. For these 3 years in the Shen family, the shops and estates have been under my management, and the profits have quadrupled. The accounts are crystal clear. According to the law and our original agreement, half of this increased value is mine. In the Shen family storehouse, every single item of antiques, calligraphy, paintings, gold and silver jewelry listed on my dowry inventory cannot be missing. Also, that silk shop in the best location on West Street, I acquired it with my own dowry silver. The deed is with me, so it is mine too. I counted on my fingers, item by item, methodical and unambiguous. Oh, right, I said as if suddenly remembering, looking at Liu Ruyan's deathly pale face. Sister Liu is so favored. She surely wouldn't deign to use my things. Those furniture and decorations in my courtyard that I'm used to are all top quality, huangguali and red sandalwood that came with my Su family's dowry. It is not too much for me to take them with me, right lest Sister Liu feel uncomfortable using them. The wild joy on Liu Ruyan's face hadn't yet faded when my inventory of assets left her dizzy and disoriented, especially when she heard huangguali and red sandalwood. A flash of greed and unwillingness quickly passed through her eyes. Shen Yan's face turned completely dark. Suan, stop this nonsense, he shouted sternly. How can divorce be child's play? How can my Shen family allow you to come and go as you please? And you want to take so much property with you? You're dreaming nonsense. I sneered and met his angry gaze. Shen Yan, I've been married to you for 3 years, managing the household for you, running the businesses, being filial to your parents. Have I made even a single mistake? Today, your beloved treasure falsely accused me of poisoning, with witnesses and evidence all present, ironclad. If I hadn't been prepared, I'd probably have already been cast out by you, or even handed over to the authorities, wouldn't I? What? Liu Ruyan is allowed to take my life, but I'm not allowed to take some silver to survive. I stepped closer, my presence not the least bit weaker. The Shen family's business has been thriving lately. Who do you think is responsible for that? Is it you, young Master Shen, who only knows how to compose poetry and listen to pillow talk, or me, the young mistress who works day and night, racking her brains? Today, either we divorce and I take what I deserve, and we part on good terms, or we take this matter, along with the scandal of concubine, Liu bribing the servants and framing the legitimate wife, straight to the clan elders, and invite a few respectable neighbors to judge for themselves. Let's see if the Shen family obsessed with concubines, neglecting the wife, utterly disgraceful, has any face left to stand in Jiangning Prefecture. Most historical heroines fight tooth and nail to keep their position as the main wife. Suan, she weaponizes her own exit. She realizes that staying in this toxic household is a waste of her talents. She uses the concubine's botched framing attempt as leverage to demand a divorce on her own terms, taking all her dowry, 50% of the profits she built for the family business, and even the furniture. It is a brilliant business transaction. She essentially forces her cheating husband to buy her out or face social ruin. It shows incredible self-worth. She knows the title of Mrs. Shen is worthless, but her financial independence is everything. You, how dare you? Shen Yan trembled with rage, his finger pointing at me, shaking. Just watch if I dare. I didn't back down an inch, my voice suddenly rising sharply with the resolution of burning all bridges. Shen Yan, don't push me. I, Suan, was able to revive this Shen family business, so I'm capable of turning it upside down. The barefoot aren't afraid of those with shoes. If I leave the Shen family, I'll take my dowry and money and live just fine. But what about you? Does the Shen family's reputation still matter or not? Your precious darling concubine Liu, with the crime of harming the legitimate wife on her back, even if you protect her, will the clan tolerate her? The spit from people outside could drown her. All the servants in the courtyard held their breath, not daring to make a sound. Liu Ruyan was even more frightened, her face pale with terror, clutching Shen Yan's arm tightly. Brother Yan, you can't let her make a scene outside. My reputation, the Shen family's reputation. Shen Yan's chest heaved violently as he stared at me intently, his eyes looking like they wanted to devour someone. He probably never imagined that I, who was usually gentle and steady, even somewhat quiet and reserved, would be like this once the facade was torn away. In the end, that overwhelming rage upon meeting Liu Ruyan's terrified and pleading gaze, and thinking of the potential shame it could bring to the family, was gradually suppressed, leaving only the ice-cold sting of humiliation. He gritted his teeth and squeezed out a few words from between them. Fine, Suan. Very good. You want a divorce. I'll grant it. You want to take those things. I'll give them to you. From now on, you and my Shen family will sever all ties of gratitude and obligation. Many thanks for young Master Shen's generosity. I immediately curtsied, my face wearing an appropriate smile, as if I wasn't the one who had just been so confrontational. The divorce papers, please write them now, my dowry list, and the account books from the shops over these 3 years. Xuntao, go fetch them. Once young Master Shen reviews them and finds no errors, signs and seals them, I'll pack my things and leave immediately. Absolutely won't delay the auspicious moment for you and Sister Liu. Shen Yan was so angry he nearly fainted, flicking his sleeves and turning around, practically shouting, to the study. A dramatic farce of catching adultery and poisoning ultimately ended with Shen Yan begrudgingly writing a divorce agreement, and me leaving the Shen family with a grand dowry procession, including that Huangguali canopy bed and a thick stack of banknotes and property deeds. Liu Ruyan stood at the entrance of the Shen manor, nestled beside Shen Yan, watching my departing convoy with a delicate yet smug smile of victory finally showing on her face. She probably thought that by driving me away, she could firmly secure her position as young Madame Shen and live happily ever after with her brother Yan. Unfortunately, she was celebrating too soon. I sat in the swaying carriage, lifting the curtain for one last look at the grand entrance of the Shen manor. Shen Yan, Liu Ruyan, our accounts are just beginning to be settled. What you owe me, I will collect back piece by piece, with interest after leaving the Shen family. I moved directly into a 3-courtyard residence I had secretly purchased and renovated long ago. The location was secluded, peaceful amidst the bustle. Xuntao directed people to arrange things, her face full of excitement. Madam, no, miss. We've finally left that den of wolves. You didn't see how smug concubine Liu looked at the end. Bah, let's see how many days she can stay smug. I sipped my tea and smiled. Smug. Very soon she won't be able to feel smug anymore. I know Liu Ruyan too well. After her rebirth, her biggest obsession is Shen Yan and the position of the Shen family's main wife. Now that I've wisely fucked off, she must think she has got it in the bag. But she forgot. The Shen family isn't just Shen Yan. The Shen family also has 2 of the most difficult people to deal with. Shen Yan's birth mother, my former mother-in-law, old Madame Shen N-Phi Zhou, and Shen Yan's shrewd, snobbish father, who is extremely obsessed with social status, old Master Shen. When Lady Zhou agreed to let me marry in back then, what she valued was my SU family's generous dowry and my passable household management skills. Liu Ruyan. A criminal's daughter from a fallen household, with nothing but some looks, and that ridiculous true love with Shen Yan in Lady Zhou's eyes. She is not even worthy of carrying my shoes. As for old Master Shen, merchants value profit and care even more about face. Liu Ruyan's stunt today framing the main wife, although I kept it from spreading outside, it is already spread throughout the inner Shen residence. How could old Master Shen not hold a grudge? Sure enough, just a few days later, Xun Tao came running excitedly to tell me the latest battle report. Miss, the Shen family's in chaos. I heard that concubine Liu just got promoted in status and was feeling all pleased with herself. Then she went to pay respects to the old madam. But the old madam left her standing in the courtyard for a full 2 hours. Didn't even give her a cup of hot tea. And there is more. Master Shen has spoken, he said, concubine. Liu comes from a lowly background and doesn't know the rules. He is making her stay in her courtyard to learn proper manners, and told her not to come out and embarrass herself. Young Master Shen apparently talked back to his father about this, and got a good scolding from Master Shen, just as expected. I leisurely trimmed the potted plants. What about Shen Yan? Doesn't he love his white moonlight so much? Didn't he make a fuss? He did make a fuss. Xun Tao curled her lips. But Master Shen was really tough this time. He said the Shen family just went through a divorce and is in the eye of the storm right now. If they immediately elevated some unworthy concubine to be the proper wife, what would happen to the Shen family's reputation? He told young Master Shen to settle down and wait a year or so before talking about it. A year or so. For Liu Ruyan, who is desperate to climb up, that is basically death by 1,000 cuts. With her temperament, how could she possibly wait that long? Miss, what do we do next? Xun Tao rubbed her hands together eagerly. No rush. I put down the scissors. Let her first taste what it is like to desire something but not get it. The timing isn't ripe yet. I needed an opportunity, one that could make her completely lose it and fall into disarray. The opportunity came soon enough. A month later, Jiangning Prefecture's annual flower festival. This was the big day for young ladies and madams in the city to showcase their talents and compete for attention, and also an important occasion for major families to discreetly size each other up and network. In previous years, as young Madam Shen, I naturally had to attend on behalf of the Shen family, handle the socializing, and take care of everything. This year, I had been cast out. But Liu Ruyan, backed by Shen Yan's favor and her status as the Shen family's quasi-concubine, was getting restless. She desperately needed such an occasion to prove herself, to squeeze into the circle of noble ladies in Jiangning Prefecture, to wash away her less than glorious origins. Shen Yan was also putting in all his effort to promote her. Rumor had it that, in order to let her stand out at the flower festival, Shen Yan spared no expense hiring the best embroiderer in Jiangning Prefecture to custom make her a dazzling rainbow feather dress, and also procured a complete set of pure gold and ruby jewelry, determined to make her outshine all the other women. When the news reached me, I was sketching some newly bloomed pots of dark orchids, rainbow feather dress, pure gold and rubies. I dipped my brush in ink and outlined an orchid leaf. Quite a fortune spent. Isn't it, though? Xun Tao said with a disdainful look. I heard that set of jewelry cost young Master Shen several thousand taels of silver. Concubine Liu's tail has been sticking up to the sky these past few days, telling everyone what she is going to do at the flower festival. Hemph. I put down my brush, looked at the elegant dark orchids in the painting, and smiled faintly. She wants to steal the show. I'll grant her wish. Xun Tao, go find those bolts of moon shadow gauze that Jingxu Pavilion sent over the other day. Xun Tao's eyes lit up. Miss, what are you planning to do? What am I planning? I calmly washed my hands, naturally to attend the flower festival and meet my dear sister. Flower festival was held at the largest plum garden in the suburbs. Red plum blossoms blazed like fire, their subtle fragrance drifting in the air. Carriages from various households came in an endless stream, jade pendants tinkling, perfumed sleeves and coiffed hair everywhere. I handed over my invitation card, using my mother's maiden name and family title. Though the SU family couldn't compare to the Shen family's wealth, they were still a respected scholarly household in Jiangning Prefecture with deep roots. The steward at the gate clearly froze for a moment upon seeing my name, but quickly recovered his respectful demeanor. "Miss Su, please come in." My appearance today was deliberately understated, yet thoughtful in every detail. I wore a plain brocade gown in sky water blue, made from the finest moon shadow silk. It looked simple and unadorned, but when moving in the sunlight, it would shimmer with a lustrous glow as warm and delicate as pearls, appearing far more elegant and refined than those bright reds and purples. My hair was simply tied up, adorned only with a flawless mutton-fat white jade magnolia hairpin with a pair of delicate pearl drops at my ears. Without heavy makeup, my skin appeared snow white, my bearing calm and composed. Compared to the ladies and misses around me vying to outdo each other in splendor, I was like an orchid in a secluded valley. As soon as I entered, countless gazes focused on me. Shock, curiosity, scrutiny, sympathy, and quite a bit of schadenfreude. After all, the matter of my divorce was no longer a secret among the upper circles of Jiangning Prefecture. In most people's eyes, I was just a pitiful creature rejected by her husband and defeated by a concubine. I acted as if I hadn't noticed, and with Xuntao, found an inconspicuous spot with a good view to sit down and quietly drink tea. Before long, there was a small commotion at the entrance. The main characters had arrived. Liu Ruyan wore a feathered robe woven with golden thread and encrusted with gemstones of various colors, practically blinding in the sunlight. The set of red gold and ruby hair ornaments on her head was especially substantial, glittering brilliantly, setting off her carefully made-up face in a strikingly gorgeous way. She tightly clutched Shen Yan's arm, chin slightly raised, with a deliberate display of restraint and pride, her eyes sweeping across the entire venue as if inspecting her own territory. Shen Yan was also dressed in fine clothes, full of vigor and confidence, his gaze toward Liu Ruyan brimming with indulgence and pride. This perfect couple's appearance did indeed attract quite a lot of attention. Some marveled at the expensive value of that outfit. Others acknowledged Liu Ruyan's looks, but more prevalent were the meaningful scrutiny and whispered gossip. "That is the Shen family's newly favored concubine, Liu. She does have some beauty. Etsuke, look at that get-up, practically wearing the treasury on her body. Afraid people won't know young Master Shen dotes on her." "Young Madam Shen. Oh no, Miss So is over there too, looking so plain and simple. Plain or not, she is still a divorced woman now. How pitiful, pushed out by such a seductress." "Shh, keep your voice down." Liu Ruyan had obviously heard those comments too, but she automatically filtered out the bad parts, only receiving those compliments about her appearance and attire, the smugness on her face growing thicker. Her gaze swept across the entire venue and finally precisely landed on me. That look was full of a victor's provocation and undisguised contempt. She held onto Shen Yan's arm and walked straight towards me. "Sister Su, what a coincidence." Liu Ruyan's voice was sweet and cloying, with a deliberately raised tone. I didn't expect elder sister to come too. Elder sister today looks so plain and elegant. She deliberately emphasized the words plain and elegant, her eyes sweeping over my simple dress and jewelry, her mockery overflowing. Shen Yan stood beside her, looking at me with complicated eyes. There was awkwardness, there was guilt, but more than that was a condescending scrutiny, as if confirming just how miserable I, this defeated opponent was doing. I put down my teacup, lifted my eyes, and looked at them calmly, even wearing a perfectly measured smile on my face. Concubine Liu. I nodded slightly, my form of address proper yet distant. Quite a coincidence indeed. The flower festival gathering, naturally one must come to soak up some good fortune. Concubine Liu today is radiant and dazzling, surely the undisputed center of attention today. My tone was calm, without a trace of sourness, but rather sounded like genuine heartfelt praise. Liu Ruyan's punch landed on cotton. The boastful words she had prepared got stuck in her throat, neither up nor down, and her expression changed slightly. Shen coughed lightly, as if wanting to say something. Just then, on the high platform in the center of the garden, the master of ceremonies announced loudly that the main event of the flower festival, Flower Goddess Dance, was about to begin. This was the most anticipated segment of the annual flower festival, where talented and beautiful young ladies or madams from the city would perform dances. The winner would not only receive the honorary title of Flower Goddess, but also a generous gift personally presented by the magistrate's wife, an immense honor. Liu Ruyan's eyes instantly lit up. This was her most important goal today. She immediately put on a sweet smile and shook Shen arm. Yan Gege, the dance performance is about to start. Let's hurry over, shall we? Shen nodded and led her toward the VIP seating area. Before leaving, he glanced at me once more. I remained seated without moving, only giving Xuntao a quiet instruction. Soon it was Liu Ruyan's turn to perform. She had prepared for this moment for a long time. Her dance was indeed graceful, and paired with that glittering golden outfit, she spun and leaped on stage, attracting quite a bit of attention. Shen sat below the stage, watching with utter fascination, his eyes full of admiration. When the dance ended, the applause was sparse. After all, while her outfit was beautiful, it was too gaudy and tacky, and didn't quite match the elegant plum garden or the artistic conception of the flower goddess. Liu Ruyan, however, felt quite pleased with herself, standing on stage, breathing slightly heavily, waiting for everyone's applause and judgment. The MC was about to announce the judgment results. A crisp voice suddenly rang out, not loud, but clearly spreading throughout the now quiet plum garden. "Ha! That golden phoenix pearl holding Baiao hairpin on Auntie Liu's head. Why does it look so familiar?" Everyone looked toward the voice. It was Xuntao sitting beside me, pointing with an innocent look on her face at the most eye-catching biao on Liu Ruyan's hair bun. Liu Ruyan's expression changed. Shen also frowned. Xuntao acted as if she hadn't seen their expressions and continued, recalling on her own. "Ah, I remember now. This baiao, and that pair of ruby earrings Auntie Liu is wearing. Aren't these exactly what the old madam specially picked out from her own dowry trousseau last year, on our Miss's birthday, to gift to our Miss? At the time, the old madam even said that the eastern pearls and rubies on this baiao are rare treasures, telling Miss to keep them well and pass them on in the future to the legitimate grandson of the Shen family." As soon as these words came out, the entire venue erupted. Everyone's gaze instantly shifted from appreciating the dance to scrutiny and contempt, all focusing in unison on Liu Ruyan's head and ears. The old madam of Shen's dowry, items specifically gifted to the former daughter-in-law to be passed down to the legitimate grandson. And now, it is brazenly worn on the head of a lowly concubine who just framed the main wife and got promoted. This is simply slapping old Madame Shen's face and spreading the Shen family's disgraceful dirty laundry naked before everyone. Liu Ruyan's face turned deathly pale in an instant. She instinctively wanted to cover the hairpin on her head, but her hand froze halfway up, her whole body swaying unsteadily. Shen was also stunned, abruptly standing up with a face ashen with rage. Nonsense. This is what I newly bought for Ruyan. Chuntao immediately shrank her neck, aggrieved, mumbling quietly. This servant isn't talking nonsense. That hairpin's phoenix beak holds an eastern pearl with an extremely fine natural cloud pattern on the lower right corner, only visible in sunlight. Old Madam specifically pointed it out to our miss back then. And those ruby earrings have a tiny character, Joe, carved on the back, which is the emblem of Old Madam's maiden family. If young Master Shen doesn't believe it, you can take them off right now and ask the madams and young ladies present to examine them. These words were too vicious. The details were so clear that people couldn't help but believe. Moreover, having Shen Yan remove Liu Ruyan's jewelry on the spot for verification. What about Liu Ruyan's face then? What about the Shen family's face? You lowly slave. Liu Ruyan trembled all over with rage, pointing at Shen Tao, her voice completely distorted. Shen Yan was even more caught in a bind, the veins on his forehead throbbing violently. Looking at the glaring golden glows and precious auras on Liu Ruyan's head and body, he felt they were unbearably eyesore and hot to handle for the first time. He suddenly remembered that back when Liu Ruyan had coyly said she liked these things, he had casually waved his hand and taken them from the storehouse without bothering to ask about their origins. How could he have known that these were things his mother had bestowed upon me, meant to be passed down to the legitimate grandson? Enough. A stern, angry shout rang out. Everyone turned around, only to see old Madame Shen, Zhou Shi, supported by a maid, had somehow arrived at the plum garden and was now standing not far away, her expression so gloomy it could drip water. She stared fixedly at the buyout ornament on Liu Ruyan's head, her gaze cold and sharp as a knife. Liu Shi, Zhou Shi's voice wasn't loud, but it carried unquestionable authority and towering fury. Who gave you permission to touch my things? Liu Ruyan was scared out of her wits. Her legs went weak, and with a thud she knelt down on the platform, her gorgeous feathered dress now covered in dust. Old Madam, I didn't know. It was Brother Yan who... She spoke incoherently, tears and snot streaming down her face. Where was even half of her previous smugness and radiance? Shen Yan also panicked. Mother, Shut up. Madame Zhou glared fiercely at Shen Yan, her gaze sweeping across everyone present who was enjoying the spectacle. She felt her old face had been completely humiliated. Taking a deep breath and forcibly suppressing her fury, she said to the Master of Ceremonies, "Today Sen Wu, the Liu clan has Shi Yi. The Shen family withdraws from the selection." After saying this, she didn't even glance at Liu Ruyan, who was kneeling on the ground, trembling, or at Shen Yan's utterly defeated face, and turned to leave. A carefully prepared, flower goddess dream had completely shattered into pieces. Liu Ruyan had become the biggest joke of the flower festival. What she wore on her head was stolen, snatched glory, the symbol of the Shen family's legitimate bloodline, and even more so, a mark of status she could never hope to reach. In the plum garden, snickering and gossiping voices were like needle points, densely piercing toward that figure, collapsed on stage in utter disarray. I picked up my teacup and gently blew away the foam. The rising steam blurred the trace of cold smile at the corner of my lips. This is just the beginning. Liu Ruyan, the advantage of rebirth isn't meant to be used like this. The turmoil of the flower festival spread throughout Jiangning Prefecture as if it had grown wings. Liu Ruyan had completely become a laughingstock. The concubine who sneaked and wore her mother-in-law's dowry jewelry, this label was enough to completely socially destroy her in the circle of noble ladies in Jiangning Prefecture. Along with Shen Yan, he was also mocked for being blinded by lust, disregarding even his own mother's dignity for the sake of a woman who couldn't be brought to the table. The inner residence of the Shen family was even more shrouded in dark clouds. Madame Zhou fell ill from anger. Her disgust for Liu Ruyan reached its peak, and she directly ordered her feet to be confined, commanding her to copy the admonitions for women, 100 times forbidding her from stepping out of the courtyard until she finished. Old Master Shen flew into a rage at Shen Yan, scolding him for being muddle-headed and foolish, throwing away the Shen family's dignity completely for the sake of a woman, and even considered reducing his management rights over the family shops. Shen Yan was caught in the middle, utterly overwhelmed. On one side were his beloved's tears and grievances, on the other were his parents' furious wrath, and the family's pressure. His feelings for Liu Ruyan inevitably developed cracks under reality's repeated blows. The embarrassment on the flower festival day and his mother's cold gaze were like thorns piercing his heart. He began to feel that Liu Ruyan, perhaps, wasn't as innocent and pure as he had imagined. Those pieces of jewelry, did she really not know their origins? Liu Ruyan was confined to the courtyard, copying the tedious admonitions for women, listening to the faint sounds of gossip and mockery from outside, her heart filled with bitter resentment and panic. She didn't understand. She was clearly a rebirth user who knew everything in advance. Things should have gone smoothly all along, with Suan trampled under her feet, as she reclaimed everything that belonged to her. Why did things turn out like this? It must be Suan, that bitch. She definitely did it on purpose. She knew the origin of those jewelry pieces all along and deliberately made me look like a fool at the flower festival. Right. And that cheap slave Chuntao too. The more Liu Ruyan thought about it, the more she hated. Her nails dug deep into her palms. No way, she couldn't just sit and wait for death. She had to strike back. She had to make Suwan's reputation ruin too. A vicious thought grew wildly in her heart. Didn't Suan get divorced? Isn't she living outside? A cast-off wife's living alone. What is easiest to attract are gossip and rumors. As long as rumors spread that she is having an affair with some man, let's see what face she'll have left to stand in Jiangning Prefecture. Liu Ruyan's eyes flickered with a crazed light. She summoned Wang Posey, the dowry servant she trusted most, and who was also the greediest, gave her detailed instructions and stuffed a large, heavy pouch of silver into her hands. A few days later, rumors about me began to quietly spread through the streets and alleys of Jiangning Prefecture. At first, it was just groundless speculation. Did you hear that Madame Su, who just moved to the west side of the city, the one who was divorced by the Shen family? What about her? SKTSK, she looks quite proper. But who would have thought? I heard strange men frequently come and go from her courtyard, even late at night. Really, that can't be true, right? Why not? Someone saw it with their own eyes. A young man keeps running over to her place every few days and stays for most of the day each time. A man and woman alone together. What good could come of it? Oh my, that is just too shameless, isn't it? It has only been how long since the divorce? The rumors spread like a plague, growing more outrageous with each retelling. From strange men coming and going, to keeping a male concubine, and then to daytime debauchery, utterly wanton. Chuntao was so angry she cried when she rushed in to tell me. Her eyes were already swollen. Miss, outside those rotten-tongued people are spouting complete nonsense. How can they slander you like this? I was looking at samples of new fabric sent by the silk shop. Hearing this, I paused briefly, but my expression remained calm. Oh, what are they saying? Tell me about it. Chuntao wiped her tears while repeating the filthy rumors she'd heard. After listening, not only was I not angry, I actually laughed softly. Liu Ruyan finally couldn't hold back anymore. I put down the fabric, my eyes cold, at her wit's end, resorting to these lowly, dirty tricks. Miss, how can you still laugh? Chuntao stamped her feet anxiously. If your reputation is ruined, what will you do in the future? Reputation, I laughed mockingly. From the day Shen Yan and I divorced, I never counted on having a good reputation in this world. Things have always been unfair to women. I stood up and walked to the window, looking at the bustling street outside. But since she dares to throw dirty water on me, then don't blame me for boiling this dirty water and throwing it right back at her. Chun Tao, go get me the brush, ink, paper, and inkstone. Chun Tao was stunned. Miss, what are you going to write? Write a storybook. The corner of my lips curved into a cold arc. Doesn't Liu Ruyan love to spread gossip? Then I'll make up an even more exciting, more twisted, more talked about story for her. I spread out the rice paper and dipped my brush in ink. My brush moved swiftly, and a scandalous, bizarre story, full of insinuations, rapidly took shape. In my mind, the story's protagonist, a concubine of lowly birth, with sky-high ambitions, relying on her lord's favor, she framed the main wife and forced the legitimate spouse out. Even after rising in status, she still wasn't satisfied. To secure her favor, while her lord was away from home, she actually climbed into the bed of the elderly, corpulent father-in-law who held the family's power. After secretly conceiving his child, fearing the affair would be exposed, she ruthlessly bribed a quack doctor, intending to give her father-in-law a sterilization drug to make him die naturally. When the concubine tries to ruin Suan's reputation outside the household by spreading rumors of her having affairs, Suan doesn't cry or try to defend herself. She decides to fight fire with an absolute inferno. She writes a scandalous, highly detailed story about a concubine sleeping with her father-in-law to get pregnant and pays storytellers to spread it all over the city. It is ruthless, brilliant, and completely shifts the public's focus. The rumor is so perfectly tailored to the Shen family's dynamics that it causes the entire household to implode from the inside out. It is psychological warfare at its finest. I wrote with great fervor and thoroughness, with vivid details and character traits that were extremely obvious in their references. That concubine's background, methods, and history of gaining favor almost perfectly matched Liu Ruyan point by point. That father-in-law's physical characteristics and his position of power in the household directly pointed to Master Shen. After finishing, I blew on the ink to dry it and handed it to Chun Tao, who stood there dumbfounded. Go find a few of the best storytellers from the tea houses and those gossip hags on the streets who specialize in spreading rumors. Polish this story up, add some more salacious and scandalous details, and then, my eyes sharpened, spread it for me, the wider the better. Pay special attention to the streets and alleys near the Shen household, and the clerks and shopkeepers at the Shen family shops. Chun Tao took those sheets of paper with trembling hands, feeling both vindicated and worried. Miss, isn't this too ruthless? What if the Shen family? Ruthless. I sneered coldly. When Liu Ruyan wanted to use rumors to ruin my entire life, did she ever think about what ruthless means? As for the Shen family, if they still care about face, they should know to manage their own backyard. If they won't manage it, I'll do it for them. Go take care of it. Money is no problem. What I want is speed and results. Chun Tao gritted her teeth. Yes, Miss Servant will go right away. The speed at which rumors spread far exceeded imagination, especially this story of mine. The plot was explosively sensational. The character implications were clear, the details were rich enough to make one's jaw drop, and it carried an air of full authenticity and insider leaks. Almost overnight, the streets and alleys, tea houses and taverns of Jiangning Prefecture were all abuzz with this earth-shattering secret. Did you hear the Shen family? That Shen family that just had the scandal about the concubine secretly wearing her mother-in-law's jewelry. Something huge happened again. What huge thing? Tell me quick. A shocking scandal that concubine, Lu Shi, to compete for favor, actually climbed into old Master Shen's bed, and got pregnant too. Oh my God, is it real? Then young Master Shen, hey, the even crazier part is still to come. That Liu Shi, afraid the matter would be exposed, actually tried to give old Master Shen a sterilization drug, wanted to make him die naturally. How vicious is that? Hiss, this is too horrifying. That old Master Shen, at his age, that concubine could actually bring herself to do it. All for wealth and power. I heard old Master Shen's physique, that Liu Shi really went all out to climb up the ladder. TSK. No wonder she framed the mistress back then. This was clearing obstacles so she could conveniently serve the young one, then serve the old one. The Shen family this time has really lost all face. The rumors spread like wildfire, burning fiercely. Compared to those previous rumors about me keeping male lovers, this was 100 times more explosive and spread 100 times faster. After all, father-in-law and concubine, this kind of scandal that violates human ethics and moral boundaries is always the most attention-grabbing bombshell. The rumors about me that Liu Ruyan had spread before were instantly washed away without a trace in the face of this towering wave. No one cared anymore whether I was keeping a boy toy. Everyone's attention was firmly captured by this human ethics tragedy of the Shen family. The Shen family had completely become the biggest laughingstock of Jiangning Prefecture. The Shen residence was in complete chaos. When Master Shen first caught wind of it, he didn't take it seriously, thinking it was just idle gossip. It wasn't till the rumors escalated, with details so explicit they were outrageous, and people even started pointing behind his back with contemptuous yet suggestive smiles, that he realized the severity of the situation. Outrageous. Shameless. Disgusting. Master Shen flew into a rage in his study, smashing his most beloved inkstone. Who is it who is spreading these rumors, sullying the Shen family's reputation? I'll skin them alive. The steward knelt on the ground, trembling. Master, the rumors outside are very detailed. They say concubine Liu is pregnant with your bullshit. Master Shen nearly fainted from rage. At his age, he valued his reputation above all else, yet now he was being splashed with such filthy slander. He pointed at the steward, his finger trembling. Go, bring that troublemaker to me. I'll interrogate her myself. Soon, Liu Ruyan, who had been confined for several days with a haggard face, was brought in. She didn't know yet that everything outside had been turned upside down. Seeing the furious Master Shen, she thought it was still about the flower festival incident, and immediately knelt down crying pitifully. Master, you must stand up for Ruyan. It is all that Suan who framed me. Shut up! Master Shen roared, grabbed a paperweight from the table and hurled it at her. It flew past Liu Ruyan's forehead, scaring her into screaming and collapsing limply on the ground. You bitch, let me ask you, those filthy rumors spreading outside, are they true? Speak. Did you... Master Shen was so angry he could barely get his words out, his old face flushed bright red. Did you seduce some wild man and get pregnant with a bastard? And you wanted to pin it on me? Liu Ruyan was thunderstruck, completely stunned. I'm master. What are you saying? What bastard? What pinning Ruyan? Ruyan doesn't understand. Still playing dumb. Master Shen looked at her. Innocent act, and grew even more enraged. It is spread all over outside, saying you shamelessly climbed into my bed, saying you wanted to drug me to death. Liu Ruyan, what a vicious heart you have. My Shen family has treated you well, and Yana especially has given you his whole heart, and this is how you repay us. Only now did Liu Ruyan understand, instantly feeling like she'd fallen into an icy abyss. She finally knew what was being spread outside. Suan. It must be that venomous woman, Suan. It is her. She actually fabricated such vicious and filthy rumors to harm me. It is not true, Master. It is not true. Liu Ruyan was terrified and crawled over to grab Master Shen's legs. "It is Suan, that bitch is slandering me. She is spreading rumors, Master. You must see clearly. Ruyan only has respect for you. Absolutely no improper intentions. Brother Yan, you have to believe me." Shen Yan was also in the study at this moment. He had heard the rumors even earlier than Master Shen and was completely stunned. Looking at Liu Ruyan kneeling on the ground, crying her heart out, he only felt she was incredibly strange and filthy. Those rumors were too specific, so specific that he couldn't help but make associations. Father's physique, Ruyan occasionally going to father's study to deliver snacks, and after the flower festival, Ruyan had privately complained that father was too strict with her. Could it be true? Shen Yan's expression gradually changed from shock and pain to doubt and disgust. "Slander?" Master Shen laughed in extreme anger. "Suan is slandering you? A divorced woman cast out of the house has such great ability to make everyone in Jiangning Prefecture believe her rumors. Flies don't land on seamless eggs. Liu Ruyan, you know damn well. What shameful things you've done yourself." "I didn't. I really didn't." Liu Ruyan screamed desperately. She suddenly remembered something, as if grasping at a lifeline. "That is right, Master. You can call for a physician. Have a physician come examine my pulse. I'm completely innocent. I'm not pregnant at all. This is enough to prove it is slander." Good, Master Shen said through gritted teeth. Send for one right now. Summon all the best physicians in Jiangning Prefecture. Have them examine you in front of everyone. If they diagnose that you're pregnant," a ruthless glint flashed in his eyes, "I'll have you drowned in the pond immediately, to rectify the family's reputation." Liu Ruyan collapsed on the ground, trembling all over, but still held onto a sliver of hope in her heart. She wasn't pregnant at all. As long as they checked her pulse, it would prove her innocence. When that time came, she would make that bitch Suan pay the price. Soon, 3 highly respected elderly physicians were summoned to the Shen residence. In the study where the atmosphere was frozen like ice, they took turns examining Liu Ruyan's pulse in front of Master Shen, Shen Yan, Madame Zhou, who had rushed over upon hearing the news, and several clan elders who had been invited to bear witness. Liu Ruyan extended her wrist, forcing herself to remain calm. But her eyes were filled with venomous resentment as she stared at the doorway, as if Suan was standing right there. Time passed bit by bit. The first elderly physician finished his examination, his brows slightly furrowed. He carefully checked again, remaining silent in contemplation. The second elderly physician finished his examination, his expression becoming somewhat strange, and he exchanged a glance with the first one. The third old physician took the longest time examining her, finally withdrew his hand, stroked his beard, with a grave expression on his face. The study was terrifyingly quiet. Everyone held their breath. Master Shen asked in a deep voice, "Well, is she pregnant?" The 3 old physicians looked at each other, and finally the eldest one spoke, his voice carrying a trace of barely detectable awkwardness and certainty. "Reporting to Master Shen, old madam, young master, this concubine, she is indeed more than a month pregnant." Boom. Like a thunderclap, it exploded above Liu Ruyan's head. The color drained from her face instantly. She stood up abruptly and shrieked, "Impossible! You're lying, quacks. You're all quacks bribed by Suan. How could I be pregnant? I'm not. She looked crazed, lunging to scratch at the physician, but was held down firmly by the servants beside her. Shen Yan's complexion, upon hearing more than a month pregnant, completely turned ashen. The last glimmer of light in his eyes extinguished, leaving only boundless coldness and deathly stillness. More than a month ago was right around the flower festival. During that time he was in a foul mood because of losing face at the flower festival, and his parents scolding, and hadn't touched Liu Ruyan at all. She really is pregnant with someone else's child. Whose could it really be? Shen Yan didn't dare think further, only felt his stomach churning with overwhelming nausea. Old Master Shen was so angry, his whole body trembled. Pointing at Liu Ruyan, who looked like a madwoman, his finger shook so much he couldn't speak. You, bitch, just as I thought. Just as I thought. Madame Zhou stood to the side, her face ashen, looking at Liu Ruyan as if looking at a pile of filthy garbage, coldly spitting out 2 words: shameless whore. Several clan elders also shook their heads repeatedly, sighing endlessly. A household's misfortune. Truly a household's misfortune. No, it is not like that, Suan harmed me. It was her. She must have drugged me, made me have a false pregnancy. Liu Ruyan struggled and screamed desperately, her hair disheveled, tears and snot streaming down her face. Not a trace left of her usual pitiful appearance. Brother Yan, you have to believe me. I'm innocent. I was framed. Framed? Shen Yan finally spoke, his voice hoarse and dry, carrying endless exhaustion and coldness. Who could frame you into getting pregnant, Liu Ruyan? Even now, you still want to make excuses. I treated you with all my heart. Is this how you repay me, climbing into my father's bed, carrying my Shen family's brother? Those last 2 words, brother, he bit down on, especially hard, full of sarcasm and heart-piercing pain. I didn't climb into Master's bed. Liu Ruyan cried out in despair. This child. She suddenly stopped, her eyes flickering with panic. Whose child was this? She herself was confused. She hadn't been involved with any other man. Suddenly, a figure flashed through her mind, Granny Wang, that servant woman who helped her spread rumors about Suan. A few days ago, Granny Wang attentively brought her a bowl of calming soup, saying it was a new recipe from outside that would help her sleep well and keep her spirits up to deal with Suan. Could it be that there was something wrong with that bowl of soup? It is Granny Wang! Liu Ruyan grabbed onto this last straw like a lifeline and shrieked. It is her. It must be her who drugged my soup to fake my pregnancy. She conspired with Suan. Enough, Master Shen roared, feeling his temples throbbing and his vision darkening. Drag this lying, shameless whore away, lock her in the woodshed. No one is allowed to let her out without my orders. No, Master, I've been wronged, Brother Yan. Save me, save me. Liu Ruyan's shrill cries were forcibly dragged away by the servants, growing fainter and fainter. The study was as silent as death. Shen Yan stood there in a daze, like a lifeless statue. Master Shen slumped into the armchair in defeat, as if he had aged 10 years in an instant. Lady Zhou closed her eyes, fingering her prayer beads, mumbling something under her breath. The clan elders sighed and shook their heads, getting up to take their leave. This scandal of the Shen family could no longer be covered up. Liu Ruyan was locked in the dark and damp woodshed. She curled up on the cold pile of straw, cold and hungry, her heart filled with boundless fear and towering hatred. The voices of the old women, keeping guard outside, drifted in intermittently. Really pregnant. TSK, you really can't judge a book by its cover. I heard the master was so angry he nearly had a stroke, and the young master also looked like he'd lost his soul. Serves her right, that shameless slut who seduced her father-in-law should be drowned in a pig cage. Shh, keep your voice down. I heard that the madam, oh no, Miss Sue's side has put out word. What word? Said that heaven's justice is clear. Retribution never fails. Some people are too clever for their own good with all their scheming, and it'll cost them their lives instead. It is not that there is no retribution, just that the time hasn't come yet. When the time comes, everything will be repaid. Hiss, those words really satisfying to hear. Liu Ruyan bit her lip hard, tasting blood. Suan, it is all her. She is the one who ruined her to this extent. Retribution. Retribution. Liu Ruyan laughed hysterically in a low voice, her eyes unfocused. My rebirth was a chance given to me by heaven. It was to let me take revenge, to let me enjoy happiness. How could it be retribution? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. She suddenly crawled up and lunged at the small, shabby window of the woodshed, shrieking miserably at the outside. Suan, you vicious woman, may you die a horrible death. I won't let you go even if I become a ghost. The only response she got was the impatient scolding of the old servant woman and the howling cold wind. The door of the woodshed hadn't been opened for several days. No one brought food. No one brought water. Liu Ruyan was both starving and thirsty. Combined with her extreme fear, the inexplicable fetus in her belly also began to ache faintly. She felt like she was about to die. Just as her consciousness was fading, the door of the woodshed creaked open a crack. A familiar figure slipped in. It was old Lady Wang. Hope instantly burst forth in Liu Ruyan's eyes. Mama Wang, it is you. Quick, quickly save me and get me out. I knew you were loyal. Suan forced you, didn't she? Quickly take me away. But old Lady Wang's face no longer showed its usual obsequiousness. She walked up to Liu Ruyan, her expression complex, carrying a trace of pity, but more so coldness. Concubine, this old servant has come to send you off. Send me off. Liu Ruyan froze. Old Lady Wang pulled out an oil paper package from her bosom. Inside were 2 cold, rock-hard steamed buns and a small flask of water. Eat up, have some water. Liu Ruyan looked at the buns and water, then at old Lady Wang's cold face. A chill shot straight from the soles of her feet to the top of her head. What do you mean? Who wants to kill me, Shen or the master? She shrank back in terror. Old Lady Wang sighed. Madam, don't blame this old servant for being heartless. This matter of yours has blown up too big. You've completely disgraced the Shen family's reputation. The master and young master can no longer tolerate you. The clan elder's intention is death by illness. Death by illness, Liu Ruyan shrieked. No, I don't want to. I'm innocent. Mama Wang, help me escape. I'll give you money. All my money is yours. Escape. Old Lady Wang shook her head, a trace of mockery in her eyes. Madam, can't you see clearly yet? In this Jiangning prefecture, where can you escape to, Miss Su? She won't let you go. Hearing the name Suan, Liu Ruyan trembled all over, as if bitten by a venomous snake. It is her. She sent you here. She clutched desperately at old Lady Wang's clothing. Old Lady Wang pried her hand away, lowering her voice even more. Madam, for the sake of our mistress-servant relationship, this old servant will be straight with you. Your pregnancy is fake. Fake. Liu Ruyan's pupils shrank sharply. I knew it. I knew it was fake. It was Suan who did this, wasn't it? Yes. And no. Granny Wang's eyes flickered. That medicine was indeed a prescription given by Miss Su. It is incredibly powerful. It can make the pulse appear as a pregnancy pulse, so convincing that even the most experienced doctors can hardly tell the difference. But she paused, looking at the hope that suddenly lit up in Liu Ruyan's eyes, then cruelly added the rest. But that medicine has a special property. After taking it, the pulse appears pregnant, and the belly will gradually show signs of pregnancy. But if within 7 days you don't take the exclusive antidote, Granny Wang leaned close to Liu Ruyan's ear, her voice like a ghost. The false pregnancy will become real, and even immortals can't save you. The blood completely drained from Liu Ruyan's face. She felt like she'd been struck by lightning. her whole body frozen in place, even forgetting to breathe, false pregnancy becoming real. Even immortals can't save me. Today. What day is it? She suddenly remembered the faint dragging pain in her abdomen before being locked up here. Liu Ruyan frantically clawed at her lower abdomen. No, no, I don't want to die, Suan. You're so vicious. You're so vicious. The antidote. Give me the antidote. She lunged at Granny Wang but was shoved away harshly. Granny Wang watched her crazed appearance, the last bit of pity in her eyes vanishing, leaving only coldness and a barely perceptible trace of satisfaction. Antidote. Old Lady Wang sneered. Mistress, do you think Missu would give it to you? After speaking, Old Lady Wang didn't spare her another glance, turned around and left quickly, locking the woodshed door. Inside the woodshed, only Liu Ruyan's utterly desperate screams remained. Suan, I won't let you go. Shen Yan, I hate you. I hate all of you. Antidote. Give me the antidote. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. The voice gradually lowered, turning into painful moans and sobs, before completely falling into eternal darkness. The last thing reflected in her dilated pupils was that patch of grey, gloomy sky outside the small window of the woodshed, and Suan's calm face with its cold, mocking smile. She opened her mouth, as if wanting to curse Reborn once, scheming exhaustively. When the news reached my small courtyard, I was watering that pot of ink orchids. Chuntao ran in, her face filled with the excitement and satisfaction of having avenged a great wrong. Miss Concubine Liu is gone. The doctor said it was a miscarriage, couldn't be saved. My hand holding the water ladle paused for a moment. Water splashed down onto the emerald green leaves of the orchid, crystalline droplets rolling off. Oh, I responded indifferently, continuing to water, my movements steady without the slightest ripple. The Shen family's side is in complete chaos. Master Shen was so angry he really had a stroke and is now paralyzed in bed, unable to move. Young Master Shen, after hearing that Auntie Liu died, locked himself in his room and hasn't come out for a day and night. It is like he is gone mad. Chintao's tone was full of sighs. I finished watering, put down the ladle, and picked up a soft cloth nearby to carefully wipe the water stains off the orchid leaves. Sunlight shone through the window lattice, falling on the pure white petals, peaceful and beautiful. Got it. I remained calm. Go get those bolts of shoe brocade that just arrived at the silk shop. I want to look at the patterns. Miss Chuntao looked at my calm profile, hesitating. Are you not sad? Sad. I raised my head, looking at the bright spring scenery outside the window, my lips slowly curving into an extremely faint yet genuine smile. Why would I be sad? From now on, no one can trouble me anymore. The sky over Jiangning Prefecture looks even bluer now. I put down the soft cloth, my fingertips brushing over the supple leaves of the ink orchid. Chuntao, prepare the carriage. We're going to check out that new embroidery workshop on the east side of town. I heard the location is good and there is heavy foot traffic. From now on, that place will bear the SU name. The warm sunlight bathed my body. The door knocker of the newly purchased residence was gleaming, and touching it, the bronze felt smooth and warm. I pushed open the heavy courtyard gate with force crack. The sound of the door hinge turning was especially clear in the quiet alley. Inside the gate was a swept-clean courtyard paved with green bricks, with a few newly planted plum trees just sprouting tender buds. Sunlight fell unobstructed across the entire courtyard. Miss, this door knocker is so shiny. Chuntao followed behind, saying cheerfully. I raised my hand, my fingertips brushing past the cold bronze ring, which was engraved with simple, auspicious cloud patterns. I responded, stepping over the threshold. It is pretty heavy, heavy with the weight of a new life, and also the solid feeling of having completely thrown off the shackles of the past. If I were to distill the absolute essence of this story, I would give you two phrases: the power of preparation and strategic detachment. At its core, this is a story about the power of preparation. Suan survives and thrives because she never assumes people will play fair. She keeps receipts, she manages the accounts, and she anticipates her enemies' moves. She proves that being good and kind is meaningless if you aren't also sharp and prepared. It is also a masterclass in strategic detachment. Suan wins because she genuinely stops caring about Shen. While the concubine is desperately fighting for the affection of a mediocre man, Suan is fighting for her money, her freedom, and her future. When you stop valuing the prize the toxic person is offering, you rob them of all their power. So, my darlings, the lesson here: never let a mediocre man and a scheming rival trap you in a game you don't even want to play. Take your dowry, take the Huangguoli furniture, if you can carry it, and build your own empire. If you enjoyed this masterclass in revenge and financial independence, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like if you admire a woman who keeps her receipts and knows her worth. And tell me in the comments, what is the most ridiculous lie someone has ever tried to tell about you, and how did you shut it down? Let us share some brilliant comebacks below. Until next time, keep your accounts balanced and your tea piping hot. Te Ra.